whatever life you are living right now, whatever reality is yours right now, more than likely it's because you made decisions off of your ego if it is a reality that you do not want. If it is a reality that you do want, you're probably making most of your decisions based off of your intuition and your guidance. And this is one of the most important things when you are manifesting and when you are creating the life and the reality that you want. So how do we do this? How do we decipher between what are ego-based decisions and what are decisions based off our intuition or our higher selves? So your ego is something that you really know quite well, because most of us have led with the ego. The ego comes in loud. The ego is the one that's like, do this, do this right now. It kind of has this kind of hurried, maybe rushed, maybe forced, maybe fearful and lack behind it. Kind of like the FOMO thing. And it has you making decisions based off of lack and fear and old programming. And your intuition is more of a neutral. It's not, you're not the high, you're not the low. It's more of neutrality. And it's the subtle little whispers, or it is the gut feeling, or I don't know, but I just know type of feeling. The other way that the ego kind of gets us whenever we're making decisions in our life is that the ego wants to know step by step how everything's going to go. Like, I want to get from A to Z, and here are the steps I'm going to take to get it. You'll know it's your ego if it's like, okay, we're going to do this, and then this will happen, and then this will happen, and this will happen, and this will happen. Because you're making your ego feel better. You're making yourself feel better because you're knowing what to expect, right? And your intuition is the exact opposite of that. Your intuition will leave you little nuggets of things where you'll get a nudge to kind of do it. But when you get the nudge, you get that aligned action, whether it makes sense to take it or not, you take it. Because how the intuition works is they will drop little nuggets of information. It will tell you the next best step, not A, B, C, D, E, all the way to Z. You'll get one little nugget of information and you follow that. And it doesn't have to make sense. It's not ruled by logic. That's what the ego is. And what happens is that when we follow our intuition, which is our alignment, which brings us into alignment on our path and on our purpose, even though it might not make sense, we take that aligned action, and that will lead to something else to take aligned action on, which will lead to something else, which will eventually get you from A to Z much quicker. Might not make sense, but much quicker and in alignment. It will be less forcing, less pushing. So my task for you today is to understand when you're making a decision based off ego, or is it your intuition or your higher self? So before you make a decision, before you do something, asking, okay, am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this task? And if it doesn't align, if it doesn't feel good to you, if it feels like you're doing it based out of lack or fear or judgment or any of these like emotions that are more lower vibrational, I'm going to challenge you to not do it. And to tune in and ask what it is that you need to do. Start aligning with your intuition. Start tuning in and understanding your ego versus your intuition, and start to make the decisions based off your intuition, and you will get to where you want to be much quicker and a much easier, faster path. This is one of the steps that we do in my coaching program, because this is so instrumental. This is like the foundation of you being able to understand how you're making decisions, how that's affecting you, and how to get in alignment so that you can take aligned actions towards towards the desires, towards the life, towards the relationship, towards the money, towards the job, It doesn't have to be hard. It makes it much harder when we are making decisions based off the ego. Harder and longer with the ego, shorter and smoother with the intuition. And I actually have a new offer that is coming out, and it is a WhatsApp offer. It's a WhatsApp coaching. So it's like a coach in your pockets, where it's 3 days in WhatsApp. You bring whatever it is that you have questions about, whatever's on your mind, whatever things that you're mulling around with, what you need help with. And for 3 days, I am your coach in your pocket. It's $111. It's a phenomenal deal. It's a phenomenal way to be able to work through some of these things in smaller doses and to get some results fast.